What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. It's Ars. Let's get productive. So, as always, it's time for another review on a VST that I've been checking out for a while, and I finally got my hands on it. I can finally bring it to this channel. Now, I'm a little late. I'm a little bit late to the party. It's been out for a little while, but it's something I've been interested in, and I've gotten some comments saying that it's something that you guys have been interested in as well. So today we're gonna check out Signature by producer RNB. This thing, I've been using it for a while. Crazy. And we're gonna go over what makes it crazy. But man, it's heavily added into the rotation of my workflow, like heavily. This thing is fire. Now, on my reviews, I always do a quick hookup, make a beat from scratch, let you guys hear this thing, but I'm in a bit of a rush today. I'm about to take a little family trip, a little family vacation, so I don't really have the time to make a beat from scratch. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over the VST, I'm gonna go over all the sounds in the VST, and I'm gonna play you a beat that I made using this VST, just so that you can get an idea of what this thing sounds like. So let's get right into it. Signature, let's see what this thing is all about. So, right now I have Logic queued up, and this is Signature. So as soon as you open up Signature, this is what you're gonna see on your screen. Very simple, straightforward, clean looking UI. It has kind of that brush steel kind of look, but there's a lot happening within the UI in terms of effects and filters and different things you can do to tweak your sound. Now, this VST is supposed to cater specifically to R&B, I'd say trap soul, but mainly R&B. And the sounds in this thing is supposed to be curated so that it makes it a lot easier for you to produce your next R&B hit. That's a very bold statement to make. So one of the reasons that I kind of stayed away from this thing for a little while is because I wasn't sure that I wanted to be disappointed. When VSTs claim to do very specific things, it kind of raises the stakes in terms of expectations. How much can they really do to make a VST catered to R&B? Like, what are they going to do to the sounds that's going to make you instantly be able to make your next R&B hit? And bro, I was wrong. This is up there with the top wrongings. If wrongings was a word, this would be up there with the top of all of my wrongings. This thing is super, super dope. All of the sounds in this thing are heavily catered to being exactly what you need to create that. The stuff that you see initially, just right off the bat, you have your delays here. You have a degrade section so you can get some distortion happening. You have a reverb section. Now, one thing I'll say is the reverb in this thing is super cool. Like, I actually like how the reverb sounds. Not all reverbs sound the same, and this one sounds really cool. But I'm gonna just play some chords from the beat that I made using this thing, and I'm gonna play with the reverb knob a little bit just so you can hear what's happening. So this is where I have it. And you can go, you can go really spacious with it and change that. You have a saturation knob over here. You have a phase knob, and you have your phase mix level so you can really blend things the way you need to blend them. You have an EQ down over here, and you have your low cut, EQ band 1 frequency, EQ gain, your filter knobs right over here. You have your release and your attack knob. Right over here in the center, you have something really cool. You can actually drag and drop any sample you want right into this thing and go to work on it. It's super cool that you can do that. If you click this button up here, you can go to your chords and motif player, and you can drop custom MIDI files right here. Super cool. So this thing allows you to get really intricate with your usage of this thing. You can drag and drop samples. You can turn things into chords. You can really do some creative R&B-esque type of tweaks to your sound using this VST. And up top here, you have your glide and your solo knob up here. You have your gain knob right up here. All pretty straightforward stuff. This box over here in the left corner, brings you to your settings, and in your settings you have a UI zoom factor, so you can change the size of the UI. Really cool that you can do that. Y'all know I love when you're able to do stuff like that. But where this thing really shines is in the sounds department. So if you click right up here on this magnifying glass, you jump right into the sounds department. And in that department, you have instruments, you have live chops, you have live loops, you have sound effects, and you have vocals. Now, live chops and live loops is exactly what it sounds like. They've already packed in a bunch of live chops and live loops of guitars for you to play. The loops and the samples aren't synchronized with your tempo, so you kind of have to either play it at the tempo of the loop and the sample, or you can just adjust that using some of the time stretch features that you may have in Logic. I don't know, I'm sure they have something like that in FL Studio, but in Logic they make it really easy for you to kind of time stretch things and get everything at the tempo that you want it. So we'll start off with some of the live loops, the live guitar loops. You can hear some of those. So as you can hear, the live loops are dope. And you can also hear that the sound quality of the loops and the samples are very good. It's very clean, very warm sounding. It's just really good quality samples. And the great thing about this is it's not a bunch of random guitar loops and random guitar chops that they just threw into the VST just so they can say that that's a feature they have. Like, oh, we have live loops on our VST or something like that. They're actually good. So that means there's someone on the other end of this thing actually either creating, curating, or listening to the samples that are being delivered or the samples that are being made from scratch and played and making good sonic choices on what should be in the VST and what shouldn't be in the VST. Because for the most part, every single thing, every single sample I've heard in here is usable and it sounds really good. And the other dope thing is, if say you was to choose this sample and you click the magnifying glass and you stuck with this sample, down here in the bottom by where they have the chorus effect, you can adjust the sample start and the sample end. So you can choose where you want the sample to start from. So that's really dope that they have those. And like I said, they don't just have loops, they actually have chops. I like the chops a little bit better than the loops because I feel like I can do a lot more with them. They're not entire samples. They're just like guitar riffs. So and that's this one. This guitar chop is actually one that I used in the beat that I'm gonna play for you guys later. But super fire. Really dope guitar riffs. You can go into the instruments, and in the instruments category, we have bass, bells, keys, leads, pads, plucks, and strings. Everything you need to make a really dope R&B or trap soul beat. A few of the areas that I think this thing really shines is in the bells, the keys, and the bass. They have some sub basses that are like really rich, almost 90s R&B sub basses, but with a new millennium level of compression that really brightens up those lower sub frequencies so that they kind of pierce through on your cell phones and your laptops. It's really cool what they did to capture that authentic old school kind of R&B sub bass sound, but make it more powerful so that it really pierces through and it's more appealing in today's type of records. I know you guys want to hear the bells and the keys, but just to give you an example of some of the basses that are on here that are really dope. You can really hear how good the quality. This is at the sub level. This is at the lower frequencies. You can really hear how clean and how warm that bass sounds. There's no little hidden particles in the background or weird sampled high-end frequencies that are like annoying to the ear. It's a very clean sample and it sounds really good no matter how low I go. I mean, I'm going low on the keys right now, and that sub is still rumbling. So it's a really good, there's a lot of really good bass on here. So they have some really dope bass. We'll go through some of the bells, and we'll go through some of the bells using the same chord progression that I played for the beat that I'm going to play for you guys later. So I'm going to just play some of the bells real quick. This one, crystal clear. Like, come on, bro. Listen to these sounds. These are bells. We just in the bells. I don't want to sound like I'm hyping this like crazy, but this shit is fire. Y'all know when I get like this about a VST, it's because it's fire. And it really is. Like, dead serious, if they had a drums category and they had some really dope drums in here, like maybe that's coming later in an expansion or something, but if they had some really dope drums in this thing, I could literally make tons of beats just using this alone and not going anywhere else. But this thing is crazy. Just how bright the texture of these sounds are. Like, it gets so bright without being piercing and hurting the ears. It's just beautiful. And they're different. I just like how different everything is. And I love a VST that takes a different approach to a non-original idea. Like, every VST has bells, every VST has leads, keys, basses. All of these samplers and romplers out here all have that. But when a VST takes a different approach to it and they have bells that don't sound like every bell that's in every VST, that's what makes it special. Look at how many bells are in this category. We're not even halfway through them, and I've already heard like 4 or 5 that I can make a beat out of right now. We're going to go down to keys. I'm going to stop talking and hyping this up. I'm going to just go through some of these sounds for you guys real quick so you can hear some of these keys. Yo, come on, man. Like, where's the whack shit? That's why I'm mad hype about this VST, bro. Like, everything is fire. Every preset I go to sounds dope. every preset just sounds dope. You could go to the leads. Actually, let me play some pads before I play the leads. Let's play some pads. I'm gonna skip some, go down to this one. This one says Jaded Piano. Cool pad. Ooh. That little thing at the end, the doo doo doo. Yo, it's it's little things like that that just set your sound apart from everything else. Like, I love little tweaks to a sound that just makes it slightly different. Let's go to leads and just play some of these. See? I love this old school lead right here. Kind of got that West Coast feel. But they added a little bit of reverb and delay to it using the effects that they have in the VST, and it just sounds euphoric. It sounds nice. Crazy. Very bright, very lush sounding leads. Nothing too harsh yet. I like that one a lot. I feel like you can add a nice chorus effect to this lead and it'll sound really cool. Let's switch it up real quick and go over to some of the sound effects. Now they have regular sound effects and then they have synth effects. So if you go to the regular sound effects, you have things like rain. You have a siren chop, slide and crash, ethereal, you can make a dope trap beat out of that. You have solid ground impact, chimes, really pretty stuff, rev. So that's really dope for a transition section in your beat. Then you can go down to synth effects. Just really dope synth effects. Really dope. That's crazy. I really like that one. I haven't found a use for it in a beat yet, but I'm gonna find a use for it because it's really cool. I feel like that has a really dope 70s synth sound to it. Really cool. And you have vocal chops, vocal samples, and you have vocals that you can use as an instrument, so you can kind of play them. You have vocal chops. And this whole section here is just nothing but little vocal chants and chops that you can add into your beat. Yeah, and their vocal chops aren't corny. Like, they sound like something that you can use in the background of a beat. Really cool stuff. They have vocal samples, so you have a shot harmony.
About you.
You have phrases, complete phrases like this one, the About You one.
About you. About you.
So anyone doing any dance tracks or EDM type tracks, it's always cool to have these vocal phrases. Sometimes you can create an entire hook just off of a vocal phrase and some cool techniques and effects. So it's really dope.
This is my time. This is my time. Time.
So really cool stuff. They have plucks. Yo, the sounds in this thing, it's really, I mean, like I said, you got a chord and motif player. You have all of these different effects, from saturation to phase to chorus, different frequency effects, delay, reverb, degrade, all of these different things going on in this thing, but it's not there to take away from the fact that it somehow doesn't have good sounds in it. Like, this thing is packed full of sounds that can be used for anything you want to use it for. But when it comes to R&B, this thing is great. Now we're going to get into the semi cookup. I didn't do this from scratch like I usually do, but I'm going to play a beat that I made using the Signature VST so you can get a sense of what you can create using this thing. This is a beat I made using Signature. Let's check it out. So yeah, that was Signature. I don't usually get this excited about a VST, and I don't usually tell you guys that you should check a VST out unless I really feel like you should check it out. I'd say if you're a producer, for the most part, you'll be able to use this in pretty much in your workflow all the time on any track that you're trying to create. There's something in here that's useful for that. I've been making beats I always make beats every single day, and just about every single day I use this on something. So this is definitely in my workflow heavy. I have a few VSTs that I've reviewed on this channel that's in my workflow heavy, and this definitely just got added to that. If you follow my IG and you see sometimes I post beats, you'll notice that the last few beats that I posted on my IG, I always say what VSTs I'm using when I make the beats, and you'll notice that Signature has been in a lot of them because it's good, man. So if you've been wondering if Signature is something you should check out, definitely go and check Signature out. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if it's something that you're going to check out. Let me know if it's something you're not going to check out, and let me know why. Also, let me know if there's a VST that I haven't reviewed on this channel yet that you would love to see me review. I'll definitely get to it as soon as possible. If you're new to the channel and you haven't already done so, definitely hit that subscribe button and hit the bell to turn on your notifications so you can stay notified anytime I drop a new video. And thanks for stopping by. I'll catch you guys on the next one.